Nothing but the chills will keep us away. Welcome to another edition of Live with Laila. It is Friday, so you are at the right place at the right spot. I'm so excited to be bringing you this show today. We're going to be talking all about I suppose being a parent and staying with your child at home and teaching them and educating them. We have an array of an amazing show today. If you're a parent, if you're a brother, if you're a sister, if you're a mother, if you're a father, this show is definitely for you, especially those that have been schooling their children in lockdown. How has that been going? We're going to be giving you more details about that. And for those that still have their children in lockdown and have decided not to take them to school, we're going to be giving you tips and ideas, actually information on how you can actually homeschool your child today. We're also going to be looking at developmental centers and the different aspects of the whole education spectrum in lockdown and of course before that. So keep it locked right here on Live with Laila. We're going to go to an ad break, and up next we're going to start with our first guest. I'm so excited. Keep it locked right here. Welcome to the Free State Online channel. And we're back. Pretty excited to be here, and I'm so happy to be Dr. Tekisho today. I'm going to be giving you a brief of who he is and where he comes from. But of course, we are currently in lockdown, so we have to start sanitize and social distance. Can I sanitize your hands there? There we go. There we go. And then we do that. We have to stay clean. How are you in COVID-19, Principal? Welcome to the show, Principal, and thank you so very much for being with us today. It's an actual pleasure and an honor to have you on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Principal, I have to ask first and foremost, and your school, just a little brief about who Principal Tekiso basically is today.
Okay, thank you very much, Mna.
Yes.
And his name is Tekiso, and Molale, it's my name, and the head principal. I'm actually a school principal at Lesedi Primary School, and I've been there from 2017. But before that, I've been the principal at Moemedi Secondary School. Therefore, for just easing off the stress, I went down to help the young ones. As you know, secondary school is hectic indeed.
Yep.
But then for now, we are in the system of education, and the most important thing is we are educating our learners and seeing that South Africans get the better education, and so that in future, their life should be in progress.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Principal Tekisho. Firstly, I want to ask, I love your experience and where you've been. I have to ask, because of lockdown, a lot of parents ended up having to homeschool their children. I would love to hear, what are your views on homeschooling as a principal? Would you find this as a good thing, bad thing? What are your views, actually?
Homeschooling, it's good, but it has some advantage and disadvantage.
Okay.
But all in all, I would, in my view, because there are certain parts of the syllabus where learners should go in contact with the teacher. I prefer that learners should be in contact with the teachers. Therefore, it's not that much I'm negative towards the homeschooling, but the fact is there are a number of requirements which are supposed to be done or which are supposed to be achieved or attained for a learner to achieve at the end of the year and for the progress actually and performance. Therefore, in my view, homeschooling is not good at all, with the fact that we know that in terms of learning and teaching daily, we have experts in terms of different subjects.
Very true.
We have teachers who are doing experts, who are expert in different fields, and therefore, in homeschooling, we are not going to get clarity in terms of actually the expert being excelling in provision of the content to the learners.
So it's safe to say you wouldn't encourage it?
I'm not encouraging homeschooling. Just it's one of the things that parents apply in order to alleviate their fears towards COVID, to
Yes,
COVID-19.
true, very
But
true.
all in all, the most important thing is if we are in contact with learners and we ease the environment and learners will be able to ask questions as easy as it is for the sake of understanding.
Definitely. Now, as a principal, then, what recommendations can you basically give as a school principal regarding the reopening of schools in this time, in this pandemic?
And the most important thing is we have the pandemic, but all in all, we need at some stage to face the reality.
True.
Therefore, I would encourage, if and only if safety measures are applicable and applied correctly, so then schooling can continue. And with the assistance of the parents, teachers, and whoever is the stakeholder in provision of the education, then I would encourage that school should continue. But then it goes to the level of grades.
True.
Because not across the board where we can
the same.
accept grades into moving into the schools. Therefore, I would suggest that moving on is very important, but it should be grades considering and the strength of the pandemic and what is, especially in terms of our society around in our townships, the life which is not having that much health conditions. But then I would support the fact that schooling should continue. It shouldn't delay learners because at some stage you're not going to find out learners getting from one grade to the other grade without having knowledge of what's supposed to be done for or applicable for the next grade.
I have to make an example with my own mother, who Unale Latlameki.
Okay, that's good.
So she's 12 and she's in grade 7. So since lockdown, obviously she's been schooling home. And principal, she is drowning. It's been heavy.
Is it?
It's been really heavy. And I know that there's still some parents out there that are still drowning. What advice would you give a parent that's currently homeschooling their child at this current moment? Because that's literally what a lot of parents are currently doing.
The parents must consider the necessity of homeschooling.
Yes.
And what are the channels that's supposed to be followed. And now and then make an assessment as to whether we are in good progress. But at some stage, they need to get, but what I'm saying to say, Laila, is you believe in technology. Some parents would say they play, they would use videos for teaching of the different experts in different subjects. But all in all, what I'm encouraging is parents should not let learners be taught at home because of the atmosphere, because of the contact sessions which are necessary. So,
Wow. Okay. Principal, thank you so very much. Please continue doing the great work that you're doing. We do need incredible people like you. I'm a product of a great principal, so I
That's
just
good.
want to throw it out there. So that's why I'm saying thank you. I had the pleasure of actually being schooled by a really caring and good principal who was concerned about kids and so on.
Okay.
So that's why when I say thank you, I literally mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
okay,
Principal.
thank you, man.
Thank you, Howard.
Thank you, man.
There you have it. More from up next coming up. Right now, let's go to our ad break and more to follow about homeschooling, early childhood development, and more. So keep it locked right here on Live with Laila. guest. This is my first time interviewing you.
I know, after 1 million
Yo,
years of knowing you.
this is overdue. This is an overdue interview.
Definitely.
I'm very excited about
Yeah,
it.
I'm also excited to be here.
All right, Teacher Mami, can you tell my audience who you are,
Yeah.
first and foremost? Because I feel like you're awesome and you're the best person to tell us who you are.
I'm actually glad that you actually said Teacher Mami because it's the name that I famously go by, and it was my children and the children in my school. My children were calling me Mami because they were in my own preschool, and the others were calling me Teacher, and then Teacher Mami came into being. So I'm the owner
Nice.
of a private preschool,
Oh.
an English medium Christian private preschool called Wow Kebes.
Okay.
I'm also the founder of Asia Hope Africa Foundation. We are a modern movement that is doing awesome work in the early childhood development space.
Yeah, this is what you call a queen. Queen, may I please sanitize your hands? Hallelujah. Let's sanitize. Social distancing, but she's still a queen. Thank you. Moving on. Teacher
I wonder
Mami,
if it's child friendly.
ska expose alona on live TV. O run na.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have to ask, what is ECD?
So the ECD is pretty broad, but it's an acronym that stands for Early Childhood Development. So, there's various disciplines within the sector itself.
Okay.
There are centers called Early Childhood Development Centers.
Okay.
And they're also broken into various categories.
Okay.
And then you've got other professionals who are in our space. Some are in learning and development, some are in training, some are service providers who are selling us educational toys. We've got researchers. But usually when people speak of ECDs, they're speaking of the center leg.
Okay.
And within there's different kinds of names. You'll hear people speaking of crashes, degreech.
I was about to go there because the minute you said early childhood development,
Yes.
what is the difference then?
When we are being registered,
Yes.
we fall under Department of Social Development, and the ECD centers that have got grade R also have to register with the Department of Education.
Okay.
So when they register us, they call us partial care facilities,
Okay.
meaning we are providing partial
Partial,
care and
yes.
education.
Okay.
So there are those of us who they're running crashes, and it's people who are looking after children who are 6 in number or more.
Oh, okay.
You've got play groups, they smaller groups, and many of the play groups, some of them are having a half day.
Okay.
And you'll hear some of them calling themselves day mothers, but in the book they are called early childhood development center managers.
Okay.
I always say to people that it's better that you register so that during the registration process you get to know which category you fall under.
Okay.
Yeah,
But I like when you say the categories.
yeah.
And let's be realistic. Kokasi, it's a
Yeah.
whole other story compared to what you would find go crash, especially with ECDs. So I would then ask you, Kokasi, how are they are obviously struggling a lot, right?
Yeah.
What is being done or can be done to actually help them to improve themselves, to understand and to comply and do all of those things? What can be done to actually help the ones co-location? Because we know most of them don't comply. Let's be realistic. We've all seen those conditions, but here we are. We want to help. What can be done to actually make it proper? Because I love what you said. Hasi crash. So how? As a crash. So how do we help go crash
Yeah.
to be an ECD?
So I just want to shock you and
Please
tell
shock
you
me.
that when you say what can we do Gokasi to help the preaching,
Eh.
you'd be very shocked to know that the ECD centers that are in town that you in your head might think are registered places of learning care are not.
Hallelujah.
So
Please
that's why
shock me.
when we came into the industry and I cross-flowed from learning and development in banking into ECD, and I was fortunate enough to be part of a project way back in 2013 on Mandela Day. We helped one center in collaboration with different corporates and government departments. And after helping that one center, I actually discovered that people in our industry don't know themselves.
True.
They don't know where to go when they need to register and so forth. So at that time, I was a center in town, and I was doing the runaround myself. So in our industry, the challenge is really not area specific.
Yeah.
And especially now during these
COVID-19
COVID-19 times,
pandemics. Whew.
the centers that you would have considered to be affluent and doing well, they themselves have become poor overnight.
Ooh.
So I'm a very strong believer in not segregating the industry even further.
Don't.
Because when I came into the in the industry 7-8 years ago, there was a Dagmoeders forum for the Tannies, and there was a Mzakazo for the mamas, and yeah, it was confusing. So being a person who's running a private ECD center, and who happened to be black, I found that I couldn't find myself a home in either.
Yeah.
So co-locationing, their biggest challenge is resources.
True.
But it's not information.
Okay, that's good.
Many of them, because they already know where the Department of Social Development is, many of them already know who their social worker is. Even if it's not the social worker, they know someone.
Yeah.
But I find that your people who are in affluent ECD centers, they don't even know. And also the challenge is that the registration process itself, it's an extreme sport.
Whoa.
And the documents are written in high English, and Bomama Barona, and even the Afrikaner Tannies, they struggle to decode them.
Yes.
And the challenging thing that we've seen is that people resort to seeking assistance from consultants who know ECD or who've gone out of their way to study it, and now they're paying for a service that's supposed to be
Free. Hey.
100% free.
Okay.
So, As You Hope Africa Foundation was birthed because of that, because I told myself that if I find a piece of information that's useful, I'm going to go out and share it with my friends in the industry, whether it's a Dani somewhere in Fihad Park or a mama somewhere in Phase 6.
Teacher Mami, just to interrupt you there, we just have to go to an ad break. But after this, can you just tell us a bit more on how to access that information to our viewers, especially with education? So let's just go to an ad break. After this, she's just going to give us that information.
Sure.
And then we'll be wrapping it up with Teacher Mami on Live with Laila.
Thank you.
Teacher Mami, and I'm so excited. Now, here's another reason why I call this incredible woman a queen. She brought a whole daughter, and she's teaching her, and she's inspiring her, and she's motivating her. Look at this, future leader. Hello, future president.
Hi, how are you?
How are you, sweetheart?
I'm good, thanks.
I'm just loving you right now. Even the hair. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. This is a queen.
African
I mean,
queen.
even the hair. You're jealous. Teacher, please introduce your daughter.
I think I'm going to hand over to her to introduce herself.
Yes. What?
Yeah.
You see? I give up. I give up.
Okay, so my name is Retabile Lituka, and I am 16 years old, and I go to Unisi High School, and I'm currently the ambassador for Dear Bella Teen Sanitary Pads.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in love.
So my daughter is my succession plan.
Aish! I rest my case.
Because I'm very passionate about early childhood development, but because you can't be all over the place, the fact that I brought her up, she's gone through her teen years, she's witnessing everything that it is that I do in the community. And when our children leave our ECD center and they go to primary school, it opens up just a completely total
It does.
other leg of utter devastation of what happens to our children when they grow up. Because in ECD they're a little bit cocooned.
Yes.
They get fed there. They get but big school is just another whole ball game. But at least I've got.
How are you surviving, my love? Are you coping? How's it going?
It's been like, I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning it was quite difficult to stay focused and determined to finish the work and like be like, okay, I have to do this at this time. But as time has progressed, I think with like more focus and like this thing of like, if this is serious, so I have to get my things done.
Yeah.
It's become better.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well done. Keep it up, my love.
Yeah.
I will be watching you with a lens
Yes.
to see you do even greater things.
Please.
Thank you.
Okay, my darling. You are a queen as well.
Yeah.
A princess turning into a queen, but you're still a queen, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Teacher, ma'am, to finish off our interview, can you just tell us about the program?
Getting
Yes.
So I'm going to start with ECD, and I really want to urge whether it's a person who is in the ECD space, who's running an ECD center, or a parent who has got a child in an ECD center. I want to say that the registration process of ECDs is the mandate of government.
Unfortunately.
And the forms, if you want to register an NPO, a non-profit organization,
Again, it's free.
it's free.
Let's emphasize that,
It's free.
please.
You can go to the Department of Social Development to go collect forms, to put your constitution together as well. There's a constitution template. It's
Yes.
free. Viewers can go to our website is www.eduhopeafrica.org, and we've got links to all the departments, including free resources. That's what I want to emphasize mostly. Also, when you've got grade Rs, visit the Department of Education to ask them, to serve you.
comply, yeah.
And if they're not serving you, I always say to people that don't be afraid to escalate.
Yes.
If you don't
Very
get
true.
joy from your social worker, or you don't know who your social worker is, go to your ECD unit. If your ECD unit is not giving you joy, in Bloemfontein here in Moteo district, our district is at Limo Mall. And if you're not getting joy there, go to the province. And speak to the province. And I've been really blessed and fortunate that I found our government to be having a very open door type of policy. I can walk in there any minute and they're willing to actually assist us. And then I'll just let Retabile explain to you about how to get involved in the Dear Bella. But I just want to end off on my side saying that if you really have been trying to register and you've been running around for many, many years, you are more than welcome to go on our website. There's a WhatsApp number there. There's an email address. Email us. We are here to assist you. And we see ourselves as social entrepreneurs. We do other businesses
Lovely.
to sustain ourselves.
Yeah.
That's why we are not going to come here and charge people for services that we know that the government is supposed to be offering for free. Yeah.
One last time. What's the website? EduHope?
It's eduhope.org. eduhopeafrica.org.
All right.
.za.
EduHope. www.
www.eduhopeafrica.org.za. And right now, I just want to mention that we've got a Facebook page that we started last Sunday. It's called Children First. It's a national group as well. There, you can be anywhere in the country. Anywhere in the country, go to Children's First and plonk your question there, and we will definitely
Why are you
ask
stabbing me? We're friends on Facebook. Why also invite? Where's my invite? Yeah, look, we see.
I
look, you-
did.
I didn't get it. Finish off, my love. We have to wrap up the interview.
Whoops, sorry.
So
Just finish it off there.
develop heads usually, well, Auntie Matefo is the one that recruits us, and then I go along and I find people who I think are compatible towards the cause, which is to help poor and vulnerable girls who always are faced with adversities and saying, okay, with this money, am I going to buy food for my family, or am I going to buy food, buy pads for myself? So what we do is we take off the weight off of that shoulders. And can I say one thing that we have done in the past is that we have gotten a group of girls from Tienazin, and we have brought them here to Bloemfontein, and we gave them an experience probably of their lifetime, because they never get the opportunity to
Again, that's true.
live normal lives, and it was really amazing to see them sparkle and smile and just be excited to do something that people like me take for granted, because we have everything, you know.
Miguel ke Khadiri. But anyway, wa untlohella, it's fine. Ke tla o
Is
check-
this,
ke
is
tla o
this
check
my
off air.
interview? I'm so confused. Like, what's happening?
I'm just messing with her. Ladies, thank you so very much.
Yeah.
Please continue doing the incredible work you. As I said, ke teng, ke kopa le abuse.
Yes.
Ke se ke iphi- ke se ke ikofarile.
If you can please help us to call on corporates
Ke teng.
and SMMEs to help us
Kete.
when our ECDs open. We've been sitting for 3 months without an income.
Yeah.
By one day when it's announced that we should open, we need PPEs for adults and for children. We need food. So we're collecting non-perishable foods already now, masks, sanitizers, anything, nappies, clothes. Because we in our network have got a long list of 721 unfunded ECDs that we are very worried about right now. We're wondering what are they going to do if we are told that the ECDs must actually open.
All right. I don't know about you at home, but I'm in. I'm going to be showing my support, and it would be really fantastic to
Thank you so
actually
much.
show your support as well. Remember to check out the Facebook page, Children for
Children First. And then Edge
love
Hope
it.
Africa Foundation and
.org
Dear
.za.
Bella.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's the one.
We are
Let's
all
support.
over the socials.
Yes, no, let's support our children, our future. Let's protect our children, let's save our children, and let's always be there for our children. More to follow right here on Live with Laila. We're still talking homeschooling, ECD, and up next, we're talking to a lady all the way from China. Very interesting stuff. Ladies, thank you so very much. Yes.
Thank you
Let's
very
go
much.
to that ad break.
Thank you.
Back again, and it continues. So excited to be with you. Don't forget to tune in to Live with Laila every single Friday right here on Free State Online channel. Right now, we have been talking about childhood development, schooling. We've had a conversation with the principal from primary school a little earlier onwards, and we just had teacher Mami, who, of course, is in the Early Childhood Development Center program. So, yeah, rewind if you missed it, or check it out later on. But for now, I'm pretty excited to be with Kosi over here, as she's supposed to be in another country, but pandemic, other things decided otherwise. Kosi, my angel, please introduce yourself to my audience.
I am Kosazana Khamani. Was born here in the Free State, and we left for China last year, and we had just started to work when the pandemic
kicked in.
surfaced. Yes, and then South Africa was like, it's safer if we come back home, so then
Yeah.
we had to come back.
How many were you when you left?
The group that I left with were a group of 40 students, but some were not comfortable with the circumstances and a lot of issues, so some were sent back home, and then in the end we were about 35, 30, yes.
Okay. It's more or less, it's about
Yeah.
5, 10 that dropped.
Yes.
So what's the plan? After this, are you going back? Is there a possibility of that?
Yes, we were supposed to go and continue because the program was for 18 months.
Okay.
So we'd just been there for like 3-4 months. So, but for now, the borders are still closed. Our borders are closed and China's borders are closed.
Everybody's
but we're
borders.
looking at October, maybe
September, October,
even
December.
next year. Yes, who knows?
I have to ask, specifically, my question is, do you specialize in teaching and why specifically China?
Okay. Just like your previous guest, I specialize in early childhood development. I just finished my education
Shine!
in early childhood development, and I was still looking for a job and still looking for things to do, and the opportunity to go to China came about. So I did a lot of research on China and the education system, and then I realized that I would like to go and learn how they educate. Then I can bring that back here.
Beautiful.
So that's what I was doing there, and it is phenomenal.
I was about to ask, what is the difference from the little that you saw that side to here? What are the major, basically, differences, the level of education? What are we looking at?
Okay. What's about Laila? Let me say, here, in some places, from a young age, we're still saying, let them just play and you
Not
know,
in
in
China.
education, playing is good.
It is.
But in that playing, we're not
Developing.
we're not helping them, we're not giving them the environment to learn, we're just letting them play. So in China,
Let me guess. While they're playing, they're developing.
okay, let me just give you one example of one of the schools. So we were taken to a lot of different schools so we can see.
Okay.
So the classrooms, it's not like we don't have the money and we can get all those things that they also have.
Yes.
So here in South Africa at an ECD center or preschool creche, you know, you have classroom butterfly, flowers, ladybugs, and so on. And in that one classroom, you're supposed to teach, you're supposed to do your activities, you're supposed to do some playing, you're supposed to do fancy room, what.
Yep.
But in China, the school is built in a way where the learning is in this classroom. When we go and bake and cook, and which is also part of learning, we go to the kitchen.
Yes.
When we go do woodwork, we go to the woodwork
woodworks,
section.
yes.
So banally, all those equipment things that are fit for them, so you can already start seeing hore, you know, na orata, this type of thing, come on, but you know, you take it away from the class, reads way. Then you wabona hore, they habana hano, we're gonna learn. That's the thing, because now the education's mona hotui, we mustn't refer banadi pampiri, that's what it says in the policy. Ma how fitla, that's all we're doing in the schools. Paper.
Paper out in, I can see.
It is because foundation, how you're not teaching them anything. They can, but ABC, but ABC, yes, around, like, anyway, yes.
A,
So,
B,
but
C, D, E, F, G,
That's it.
H, I, J,
Oh,
K,
man.
L, M, N, O, P, Q. I learned that from TV, Sesame Street. Let's move on.
Hey,
Let me
so-
stop exposing my age.
that was the main difference. Yeah, hore. Already from a young age, Baba exposed a which I believe we can also do.
Yeah, we can.
Because it's from that age, you know, but I believe no, bantu ba sa ituti anything, no. That's
They
when
are.
they start learning
That's true.
everything.
That's true. Look, I also do a lot of research, and I did realize, I think about last week, I read up where I know children from 0 to 7, that's when they basically learn and indoctrinate themselves from their circumstances and environment and the people in which they surround themselves. So I could actually understand what it is that you're basically referring to.
Yeah.
But I have to ask, have you actually compared some of the schools that are so-called excellent schools in South Africa to that side?
Okay, so in China, the most important thing is you only have your public and your private schools, like
Okay.
but the major difference here, public school, is that in the whole country, they're standardized.
Okay.
So, nka kena skolo ka Tropong, nka kena skolo ka Locationing, but I'm going to receive the exact same education.
Interesting. So there's no that classism thing where you are
Only
better than
also
me.
we are private
It's-
school. And their education is paid until grade 9, and then only from grade 9, then your parents start paying for you.
Okay. What challenges do you think you would expect, especially when you go back? Because we've seen international news on how the Chinese have been treating black people. What challenges are you prepared to actually face? Because I can assume that after lockdown, you do want to go back. Can I assume that? What challenges have you prepared yourself for the challenges that you're going to face? Because I'm sure you've seen the horrible stories that have been coming out of China where black people have been treated very badly. What are you prepared for to face when you go back?
To be honest with you, we were already going through those things.
Oh, wow.
It's just that ne re sa tlise anything about threatening. So now, it's like we brought the virus, but we didn't.
We didn't.
Just because our bodies high bonsi as other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Ihlaelang ka pelenyana.
Yep.
So they would take pictures of us every single day. Because there's so many of them, you see different people every day, and they'd be staring because I'm black.
And you are very rare.
They look at my hair. If it's like this, but it's not real. If it's plaited down, they want to know how I did it. They'll touch you like you'll be in the supermarket and somebody's like, what, your hair? And if you braid it, you're gone.
Why do you want to go there?
Straight up. Usona never says
Wait, why do you want to go back there?
Because Laila, I'm so passionate about education, and I really everything more. All the good things.
And bring them home.
And ke di tlise mona.
Ah,
That's
o no
the only
patriot
reason. So
wena, eh.
ke itse ha hona
O tla mamella
taba.
pain. O tla e mamella.
It's not like there's no racism here. Mpa fela e sa tshwane. You know what I mean?
Alright.
But mama hangati mara ke na taba.
Okay, we're going to be checking out some of your comments and suggestions. We'll be reading that up next. We're still with Kosi over here. Let's go to that ad break and more on your comments, especially the ones you've been posting on Facebook Live. You're still on Live with Laila.
Yes.
And we're back. Absolutely. If you just tuned in, we're talking everything to do with early childhood development, homeschooling, and basically parents. How are you surviving in lockdown, actually teaching your children? Parents have literally become teachers.
Yes, that's
My mother has been crying. She can't cope. I literally had to send an email to the principal of my little sister's school because my mother was not coping.
it's not happening.
Oh, she was not coping. Like, it was that bad. But luckily, I know she went back. But ish, at the rate our country is going now, we don't know if it's going to go or it's going to close. So let's actually look out for that one. So I actually have a comment here that I wanted to actually discuss with you that we got earlier on. It's on Facebook. It's from MC Rodet. He says, I completed grade 12 through the post that they basically send me textbooks. I got an address to basically mail the assignments, and I also had an exam date. So there was basically no slideshows, no spoon feeding, no teacher telling you what to study, and so on. But basically what he wants to know, because he said this better prepared him to become a university student. So what then do you say? Because I know I'm throwing you in the deep end here, because I was actually supposed to ask this to the principal. But I'm going to ask it to you. What do you say to someone like this that says homeschooling prepared them better for varsity? You know, it's an ongoing conversation because, let's be realistic, we're in lockdown right now.
Yes.
A lot of things in our lives have changed. They've turned into something else. And some parents I know are asking themselves, is this homeschooling a temporary thing that we're going to do now in lockdown, and then hopefully the heavens open and in September everything goes back to normal, right? But they're also stuck with, what if we never go back to normal?
Yeah.
Because COVID-19 has actually changed the way in which we interact with each other, the
Yes.
way in which we do business, the way in which we travel, basically the way in which we do almost everything. I cannot think of one thing that COVID has not affected. I don't know. Can you think of one thing that COVID has not affected? So this guy is asking that, and I also have to ask your views as well, because you're so interested and so passionate about early childhood development. What do you say to someone like this? Homeschooling, no, yes, yay, does it work, doesn't work? What then do you say?
Okay, I'm on two sides.
All
I
right.
can say yes and no.
Okay,
But to answer that question first, I'd say he's right in saying that it prepared him better.
Okay.
Because once you get to university, I have two sisters that are at the University of the Free State right now.
Alright.
The other one is doing her fourth year, the other one is in her first year.
okay,
And you have to learn. You have to study. You go into an auditorium with so many people. How totally when you were in high school, teacher mama answer, so Laila, did you do your homework? No one cares if you did your homework. You have to be very, very, very disciplined. So I believe he's right. He's very right to say, oh, it prepared him, because now he's going to go on a journey. Asale sharp, he'll have a few, because it's going to be more work.
I have to ask you though, don't you think this somehow ruined or disturbed his childhood? Because it goes back to what you said earlier, that in China, when children go out to play, they're getting developed while they're
Yes.
playing, right? Now this comes back to this one, because obviously this is things that he's been doing since childhood, which basically means when he was playing, he was developing.
Yes, Auslila, the thing is, play ki play,
Yes,
but it just depends how you play.
yes.
Oh, Ulobana, nakongwe, you can't just play marandas the whole day.
I can. Not.
Kilobana, and it also depends on what are you playing with. What about Kilobana? So now we don't know. Do we can spend his afternoons? That kind of thing. Yeah, tools
Contributes,
to,
yeah.
to help to develop a child.
Definitely.
And you can see that he's someone that is very, very disciplined.
Yes.
Because some people, they're homeschooled, but
Yep.
they have like tutors online.
Yep.
Like even where my sister, the girl, Tabile, she says she goes to UNICE.
Yes.
I know that they are at home, but their teachers, they do Zoom classes and so on. So they're not really alone.
This is why I said my mother is drowning. My little sister goes to UNICE. So that's why she was like
You see,
drowning.
my mom had to relearn algebra.
Can I say, I did not even attempt. I knew it was going to be bad.
And I was like, I'm helping with the English and everything else.
Well, we're almost at the close of the show. Kosi, thank you so very much. But I have to finish it off because we're in a pandemic, we're in a lockdown. You are not working because you are literally supposed to be in China.
Yes, that's
What are you busy with?
Okay, so in China, I was teaching at an English center because now they've opened up to the world and decided, hey, we need English. So now I'm busy at home looking through YouTube, grammar, equipping myself to teach English better, to make it easier for them because they don't know it.
Yeah, they don't.
If you don't know a little bit of Chinese, you're the one that's going to struggle.
I only know ni hao.
Exactly. So now, because I was teaching from 3 years
Yes,
up
upwards.
until 11 years old.
Okay.
So now the 11-year-olds are a bit better because they've been attending.
Yes.
So now the 3-year-olds, Leno Tobisaka's China. He's just like,
You are blank. Are we too jarring?
the worst part is when they cry. So I've been studying and also doing other things because I also want to be like Mama who was just here.
Yeah, definitely,
And
yes.
have ECD
Yeah.
centers that make a difference.
Yeah,
So I've been
exactly.
looking into that, doing some
Yeah.
research. That's what I've been up to.
My love, I'm just glad that we got to inspire you, we got to
Thank
know
you.
you, and I will be honestly looking out for you. Thank you for your hard work and dedication. And I'm very excited that you want to go to China, learn, and bring it back home.
Yes.
I am super proud of you for that.
I don't understand it. It's beautiful, but no.
There you have it. That's basically our wrap of Live with Laila. Let's press to one last ad break and then we're wrapping it up. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, we're closing. Oh, okay, all right. We're closing it off. Thank you for tuning and of course watching the show. Please find out more details on the websites that were basically offered earlier onwards, especially with eduhopeafrica.org.za. That's where you can find Teacher Mami and basically find out more information. I'm glad you memorized that so you can also find out more
Yes.
information. I'm looking forward to interviewing later onwards. And also you bring your daughter as well. Empower, more girls you empower, the better. I'm not saying go make a daughter. I'm just saying later onwards. So that's a wrap of the show. Thank you so very much for tuning in. We're back again next week, Friday at 4 p.m. right here on the Free State Online channel. This is Live with Laila. Have a super fantastic weekend. Please remember, social distancing, sanitize, and stay safe and warm. Bye-bye. Yeah, I'm